Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise today in support of this resolution, and I rise as the former chair of the Task Force on Homeland Security. I can tell you that those of us who are on the task force, my good friend across the aisle, we traveled all the way across this state from the top to the bottom, and we heard from law enforcement officials from every corner, from Oxford Hills to Presque Isle, down to Biddeford, Portland, Brunswick, Rockland, Bangor, everywhere, and not one of them, not one, said you need to implement a real ID in order to protect this state. Because they knew that real ID, if it had been in place, would not have protected us from Timothy McVeigh. It would not have protected us from the Unabomber. It would not have protected us from the Olympic bomber. It would not have protected us, indeed, most importantly, from 9/11. It would have had no impact. If you want to find ways that we can make sure that we secure Maine, read our report. There are lots of recommendations. In fact, you voted and implemented virtually all of them last year, from making sure that our communication systems work, to making sure that evacuation plans are in place, to making sure our hospitals have enough beds, to making sure that our ports are inspected. This will do nothing to protect us. And on top of that, it will create problems within our community for those who cannot afford to pay the fees to purchase. Because for those who are renters, who change their addresses every few years, or low income who change their addresses, they're going to have to pay the fee every time. Or if you're elderly and you don't have your birth certificate anymore, and you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and they say, well, just call the hospital, and that hospital doesn't seem to exist anymore because you were born 70 years ago, you're not going to be able to get this ID. And if you want to fly on an airplane and you're not able to get this ID, you're going to be excluded from that form of transportation. So number one, it does nothing to protect us, and law enforcement will say it over and over again, this is not something that we need. And number two, it creates an onerous burden on those in our communities who cannot afford any more burdens. If we want to protect our country, there are many, many things that we can do, and this is not one of them. And Madam President, when the vote is taken, I request the yeas and nays.
Chair recognizes the